So we're here to talk about Theory X and Theory Y, which is a management theory first postulated by Douglas McGregor, professor over at the MIT Sloan School of Management in the year 1960. Professor McGregor stated that managers operate under two theories about their employees. Under Theory X, managers assume employees inherently dislike work and responsibility, therefore employees they must be micromanaged in order to be productive. Under Theory Y, managers assume that employees inherently find self-fulfillment from doing their work. So under this approach, managers will take a hands-off approach because they have faith their employees are going to be productive without them being overseers watching over them. So the question then becomes, how does a manager motivate employees to get them to be the most productive for the company? Because that's the manager's role, to make sure that the employees, they're actually productive and create value for the company. And as we see, managers, they make different assumptions about employees under Theory X and Theory Y, and their approach to motivating employees is going to be different depending on which theory that the managers operate under. Under Theory X, managers will assume that employees are primarily motivated by making money and avoiding punishment. So under this theory, compensation is highly important. And also, they want to make sure that employees know they're being watched. Under Theory Y, the managers assume that employees are primarily motivated not by money, but by an inherent desire to challenge themselves and grow as a member of the team. So managers got to make sure they properly identify their employees as being Theory X type or Theory Y type. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure your management method actually matches up with the employee type, or else it's going to be counterproductive. For example, if your employee was under Theory X and they're actually inherently lazy, then you want to be a coercive manager. That way they will actually do their work. So this would work. However, if your employee is actually type X and you use a management Y theory, a laissez-faire method, just let them do their own thing, assuming that they're going to be self-motivating, you're probably going to get bad results. They're going to take advantage. On the other hand, if your employee is a self-motivating person, a person who is of high self-esteem, and you use method X and you're coercive to this employee, it's probably not going to work. You're probably going to have a clash of heads, and this employee is going to be demotivated, and the employee Y is going to not be productive. However, if the employee is of type Y and you give the employee proper autonomy to do their own work and give them enough space to do their own work and not micromanage them, and you utilize Theory Y and you take a laissez-faire approach, this is probably going to give them room to grow, to realize their potential, and the employee is going to appreciate the manager's space to allow them to grow as an employee. So this is going to work. There are structural constraints which may push a manager to adopt Theory X or Theory Y. For example, let's take Foxconn, a manufacturer of cell phone parts, Apple's biggest supplier. It is very difficult for an employee who does the same repetitive task of putting cell phone parts together at Foxconn to find self-fulfillment from doing his or her work. Therefore, it may be easier for a manager there to adopt the Theory X approach. On the other hand, managers over at Google may find it much easier to adopt the Theory Y approach because their employees' work of pushing out the most innovative trends and products, they are inherently more fulfilling than working over at a manufacturing plant. However, either one of these theories, if taken to the extreme, can be problematic. For example, over at Foxconn, because of the authoritarian approach back 9 years ago in 2010, there were multiple suicides over at the plant. And on the other hand, even Google's Theory Y approach taken to the extreme can cause philosophical questions. When the perks of working at Google is so good such that you can pretty much live at the company, the line between leisure and work starts to blur. So either one of these theories taken at its extreme can be problematic, and managers should take a blended approach depending on the employee and the circumstance that they run across.